Hello, I'm Ashley and welcome to my space here. I wanted to start off this little reading with some deep breaths together because I'm feeling that collectively we all need a few deep breaths. There's some tension and some heaviness and some darkness and lots of energy. So we're going to go ahead and center ourselves by taking a deep breath in the nose. And out the mouth. 2 more times in the nose. Then out the mouth. And 1 more time in the nose. Alright, so this is the extended reading for the week of July 14th through the 20th. But whenever this message reaches you, it is meant for you. So even if it's not on that week and you come across this, then take what resonates for you and leave the rest. So make sure you trust your own intuition above all else. And remember that gender does not apply here. Come here with an open mind and an open heart to receive your guidance. I set the intention that this message is what you need to hear at this time. So trust and receive. And if you are here because you read the blog, thank you for being here. And if you just found this randomly, hello and welcome. So I'm going to start off with this week. I am going to get into what we're not seeing clearly and the advice for the week. But for my blog post and what I've shared, you can also follow me on Instagram. I leave all my information below, so check that out. But we started off with the Hierophant for the week. So right away I was kind of drawn to the number 5, which to me represents like change and like chaos and a little bit of imbalance. But mostly I was picking up on change because with that I pulled frequency shift. And actually I'm going to share what was under the deck before I get into the rest of the reading, because it tied in so closely, because right away I was getting this energy of commitment and really like shifting our perspective about what it means to commit and relate. And so underneath the deck was the Hangman, which is all about shifting your perspective. It's about voluntarily like suspending yourself and taking a step back and seeing things from a new perspective, like allowing your mind to be opened, maybe your heart to be opened. Because with that, underneath the deck on this deck was commitment. So I was like, okay, as soon as I saw the Hierophant, I was really drawn to commitment. And the Hierophant can is represented by the astrological sign of Taurus, if that's a message for you. But it also represents like tradition, but on the other hand, it represents like doing things in an unconventional and unique way, like really being like I was feeling like this energy of like 2 opposing belief systems, of like super rigid belief systems, like and you see this societally. And so not even if this is going on within yourself, like you're feeling this belief system shift within yourself, it's because we're experiencing it collectively, and you can see that like there's this like new age emerging of like needing to be true to ourselves and being more in alignment, and drawing in energies of like really like being unique to our own selves, because we're in a society that's kind of like a conformist society, and so we don't really express ourselves. And what's been coming up in weeks past is like expressing ourselves emotionally, and I was kind of picking that up on this card because there was a lot of blue on this card, so I was picking up on the throat chakra and really being able to express ourselves and express our individuality, express our uniqueness. But a lot of us have been taught to hide that, and this could be like really like rigid belief systems that you grew up that like suppressed your self-expression, that like you may have, like I was picking up right away and like feeling like an outcast, or feeling different, or like, you know, feeling like the black sheep, or feeling like you don't belong. Maybe you never felt like you belonged, or you felt really lonely, or you suffered from like anxiety or depression, or especially like as a really young kid, or like you just struggled to fit into your family, or you struggled to find friends to fit in with, and you kind of felt like maybe alone or different or weird, or like there was something wrong with you, kind of. And I was picking up right away on imposter syndrome. So really we're shifting our like our internal beliefs to know that like we are worthy of being seen, that we're worthy of being heard, that we have the right to take up space here, like we belong here, like we have purpose here. And a lot of us, we aren't taught how to like discover our purpose or to explore our self-expression. And to me, like our self-expression is the closest form to God, like when we're connected to our spirit. And I was picking up on this fear of like or like this energy of wanting to like liberate oneself. And the whole thing with like the shifting perspective is like you can liberate yourself. Like, you can be in the same scenario, but as soon as you like allow yourself to express your soul, like you express the truest, highest form of yourself, like that begins to shift your frequency, and then like your external world begins to change. But a lot of us, we hide different parts of ourselves out of fear of being judged, out of fear of being seen in a specific way. And because if we've experienced any of these like rigid belief systems forced upon us during childhood, we can have these fears of like being abandoned if we express our truest selves, or like not being accepted. And it's really about learning how to accept all these different versions of ourselves, to accept our uniqueness, even if we feel weird, or even if we feel different, or if we express ourselves. Like, I'm just getting this energy of like wanting to express yourself more freely, and this could be like emotionally, like expressing your love maybe, or even expressing your own individuality, like just what makes you you. And maybe this is how you dress differently, or maybe you speak differently. That's what I was picking up on, like communicating differently. And like our belief systems really dictate how we like see ourselves. And if our belief systems were like restricting in any way, like if they weren't expansive or didn't allow us to express ourselves in a certain way, this could be like expressing like your sexuality, expressing your creativity, expressing like your body, or expressing your just like your uniqueness, like expressing who you are. Like maybe that wasn't accepted, and so then this forms beliefs of like that part of me isn't worthy. But then we suffer to feel like we belong, or that like there's support for us. And so like when we begin to do the things that really allows our soul to express itself, even if it's different or weird or out of the box. That was one of the things I was picking up on, out of the box. You remember that show, Out of the Box, Out of the Box? Yeah, that song just always comes to my mind when I think of that. Kind of like the Hierophant, and like the Hierophant is like our teacher. It's like that spiritual guidance that's leading us. It's like the divine guidance, and the divine guidance is like teaching us how to express ourselves more authentically and more truthfully. And that's going to be really uncomfortable, especially if we've grown up in homes, or like even in this society of like suppressing our self-expression. Like we're conformists, so we all want to like do the same thing, so that we don't I don't know, as much as we want to be seen most of the time, like we have fears of being seen. So and so we can tend to like hide away or hide parts of us, but this is asking us to be more transparent, to be more vulnerable, and to express ourselves. So then when we stop doing that, because there's this energy of like feeling like suffering from imposter syndrome, which is from like the voice that tells you like you're going to be made a fool if you express yourself, or like you're going to be embarrassed, or you're going to get judged, and it'll kind of like mock you, and it kind of will put you down. It will kind of, it's like the inner self-saboteur. And that archetype, it keeps us from being seen, or it keeps us from being heard. It keeps us from like vulnerability, because it had to protect us in childhood. So every time that inner critic or that inner saboteur comes up, we have to like learn to meet it from this place of like not rigidity like we've been taught, like to suppress it and don't acknowledge it, don't even like pretend it's not even there, like, and just like suppress it or mask it with like a smile, even though you feel broken or alone or sad, or cover it up with like your addictions, or a distraction. So or just like pretend it doesn't exist. And then when we deny different parts of ourselves, we feel very disconnected. We feel we don't feel whole. We feel like this imbalance. And there's just a lot of belief systems that are like kind of crumbling, and like, we're just awakening to these things, and we're seeing these things, and that's the frequency shift, is like, and that's the shift in perspective, like becoming like enlightened, like seeing that commitment. Because the Hierophant, like I think of like commitment when I think of the Hierophant, so it could be like marriages and stuff like that. So if you think about commitment, and we've been taught, especially in relationships, to that commitment means to like overgive, or commitment means to like be trapped or tied down, or to sacrifice. That's what we have kind of been taught that commitment is. We see this through our parents' relationships, and we see this like in our work, like when we commit to our work. And what we're really seeking is more freedom, in my opinion, in our relationships, more freedom in our self-expression, more freedom in our career paths, like more freedom in general. And it's just so funny, because like this is our country is like the free and the brave, and that was kind of like, that came to my blog post. So if you want to check that out, you might have some more messages in there for you if you'd like to click the link below and find that. But I was getting this message of like the home of the free and the brave, and like a lot of us aren't brave enough to free ourselves. And when we free our souls, like when our soul is allowed to express itself, and we're not suppressing our emotions, we're not suppressing our desires. Like a lot of us may have like creative desires or sexual desires that we have been taught are wrong or bad, and we've labeled them as like not worthy of being seen, or we can't accept those parts of ourselves. And then we struggle to like commit, especially in relationships. And so when we commit to our soul, and we commit to our soul's expression, its most authentic expression, like through our creativity, through our words, and this could be teaching, you could be a spiritual teacher, or this is about leadership. And I just love that he has this star there. I don't know what exactly this thing is supposed to be, some winged creature with a tail. I'm really not sure, but I just love the energy, because it's like holding its head high, and it's kind of like walking with like kind of this sense of like pride. And this is just like really feeling like led by a higher force, and it's like really shifting your beliefs and your views on what I'm picking up on mostly is like love and relating. Like, and this doesn't just mean relating in like intimate relationships, this means relating in like family dynamics. And when we begin to shift our own frequency and how we perceive ourselves, we begin to project onto the people around us a different energy. And we no longer feel bound by their like opinions of us or their reactions to us expressing ourselves in our most authentic form. We are free within ourselves, so we don't allow that. We're accepting ourselves for who we are. We're not living for anyone else. We're just accepting ourselves for who we are. And then we're not like triggered or offended by people that don't always agree with who we are or agree with our beliefs. And it's not our job to force our beliefs on people. It's just our job to be a living proof of our own beliefs, and to live in alignment with our beliefs and live in alignment with our truth. And when we do that, then we literally birth a new earth, and we reinvent ourselves. And that was kind of the energy I was picking up on, is like wanting to free ourselves and reinvent ourselves. And if you look at it from a collective standpoint, and you remove yourself from fears of being seen and fears of being rejected, and you remove yourself from all your insecurities and all your doubts of reinventing yourself, and you take a step back, you can really see that right now we're reinventing everything, like our structure. We're reinventing like our society, like we're reinventing we're just changing on such a global scale right now, that if we remove ourselves from it, like we see that like we don't need to be scared of reinventing ourselves, of becoming new, because that's what a lot of us, we deeply desire change and to reinvent ourselves, but we almost fear it at the same time. Like some of us believe that we're not worthy of like our highest desires or our highest potential. And that's kind of the Hierophant, is like, this is like reaching for the stars. This is like your soul's path, your soul's commitment, like your commitment to your soul's path. Like when you commit to that path, like you're gonna live in expansion, you're gonna live in openness, you're gonna live in uncertainty, and you're gonna feel comfortable there, you're gonna feel alive there, you're gonna feel secure there. And that's really what we're learning how to do, is feel secure in ourselves when the outside world cannot be our security. And that's what we're really learning, because we've been taught from the rigid point of perspective with the Hierophant, is to really rely on the outside as our sense of security. And when our belief system change and we awaken to a soul, we realize that the outside is temporary, and so it can crumble, it can be taken away at any time. But if we shift our energy, we begin to raise our vibration, and we begin to shift our beliefs from the inside out, then we really begin to emanate a new frequency. And because we're emanating a new frequency, we're opening up to new opportunities, we're opening up to like a whole new world. That was what came through. So like Aladdin fans, like a whole new world. We create that within ourselves, and then it becomes our reality. And then we see everything mostly from like a fresh perspective. We approach our every mundane lives from this sense of wonder and magic, rather than from this like rigid belief system that like we're just here to secure ourselves, like to make money. It's like we're really learning to like embrace our freedom and embrace our divinity as much as we're connecting to our humanity. Because I was also picking up, actually, I looked online, and the number 5 was like in numerology. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Was like 5 is represented by like humanity, and I just thought that was very fascinating, because that's what we're really learning how to do, is come back to our humanity. And when we begin to like really shift our frequency, and like we begin to embody a new frequency, like we have to connect to like our lower base chakras, which would be like our root chakras, and feeling safe. And really, to me, the root chakra is like connecting to your health and your well-being, and feeling safe in your body and feeling secure in your body. When you feel good in your body, then you begin to attract new energy, and because you're embodying it. Like, it has to be in your body. You can't just think new thoughts. You have to actually embody it too. So like when you incorporate movement and some kind of movement, it doesn't have to be hard, vigorous movement. It could be going for a walk. But when you incorporate movement with intention and with your thoughts, the I am, and you really embody the frequency, that's when you begin to shift on a cellular level. And that's like the frequency shift. It's like you can tune into, just like you tune into a radio station, you can tune in your body every single day by placing your point of attraction on what you desire to feel. Do you want to feel happy today? Do you want to feel lit today? Do you want to feel relaxed today? Put your point of attraction on that, and then act from that place. And that's how you act, like, that's how you, like, co-create with the law of attraction, as you're responsible for the feeling you want to create more of. So if you're like, and this doesn't mean like if you're feeling sad, you don't feel sad and you just place your focus on happiness. Like, you feel the sadness, but you know that the sadness isn't permanent, that you have to come back to a baseline. So creating a baseline for yourself, like my baseline is neutrality or peace, just acceptance. And like, if you can come back to like love after each emotion, if your baseline at the end of the day, and every day you can return to your baseline, then that's how you're learning how to regulate your own emotions, so that you can begin to act from this place of not like this limited perception of who you are, but you can act from what your soul would want. So then that's when you begin to become the person like that you see yourself as. Like, that's how you reinvent yourself, is by taking those little steps every day, by talking to yourself in a new way. Because then when you begin to talk to yourself in a new way, you begin to act in a new way, you begin to talk to other people in a new way, and then you begin to relate in a new way. And so that's what I was kind of picking up there. It's just like learning how to, and commitment to me, like I was saying, in relationships, a lot of us think it's like this, like, need to constantly be together, or like completely enmeshed with each other, and like we can't live without one another, like, or like not having any like time to be alone, or to like be your own person, kind of, or figure out who you are. It's like we go into relationships without any idea who we really are, and then we like feel completely lost in the relationship, or we don't feel seen, or we don't feel heard, and instead of being in those relationships, like, but we have a bigger fear of being alone or being abandoned, and so we'd rather stay in relationships that are like codependent, that our ego gratifications are being met, like like this person is here every day, and like just I get to sleep with this person, and like this person does this for me, and this person does that for me, and if they weren't here, then I wouldn't have anyone to do that for me. So I'd rather have that and stay in this really unhealthy relationship, even though it's not fulfilling my soul. So really what people are wanting in relationships is more soul fulfilling, relating. They're wanting to get more intimate. They're wanting to become deeper and closer, and express themselves more truthfully, express their maybe their sensuality, or express their sexuality, or express their individuality. And really to in order for them to do that, we have to start doing the things that make us feel in alignment with our own soul. So anyway, with that being said, there's lots of messages there. So like I said, check out the blog post if you have not. There's lots of other messages. What is going on, but I'm going to move on to what we're not seeing clearly this week. But yeah, so anyway, in relating, relationships aren't meant to be like, you're constantly obsessing over the other person, or like needing to be with them in order to validate yourself. Like, in relationships, we should feel free to leave whenever we want, but a lot of us feel like this energy of like feeling stuck in relationships or being trapped in relationships. That's what I was kind of picking up on. And when we can actually begin to express our souls more freely in our relationships, we're either going to lose that relationship because that person doesn't agree with or doesn't like the person we truly are, or it's going to evolve. So the more we can express ourselves, it can either deepen our relationships, or it can fizzle out the relationships that aren't meant to be in our life. And rather than looking at them as like a loss and like, actually be grateful for them, that they taught you how to see yourself more clearly, and know that that's not what you desire or what you deserve, maybe. So, and then really taking the step to like, there's a difference between like, you can either like hold on to what's not serving you so tightly that you begin to like self-destruct, and you and you lose it, or you can choose to let it go and deal with the loss and the grief in a healthy way, because you're inevitably going to feel the loss, and you can look at it from this place of like, this is happening to me, like as a curse, or you can look at it from like this gift of teaching me how to let go of control. When we can really let go of control, and that's kind of the Hierophant, because we're in this society where it's like rigidity and control, and we're really meeting it with this other form of the divine feminine, because our society right now and our system is like masculine, but it's like this distorted masculine of like rigidity and control. The divine masculine follows his intuition. He's a leader. This is the Hierophant. He like guides people from spirit. He doesn't guide them from his own ego or for power or for money. He guides them for love, for peace, for unity, connection, community. Like, so that's what we're really learning. And these two worlds are like kind of crashing right now, and they're creating a lot of friction. We're creating a lot of tension collectively. And if we don't learn how to stand in our own frequency, we will absorb. That was kind of another message I was picking up. We will absorb other people's energy. And if the energy collectively is heaviness and darkness, if we don't anchor our vibration every day, and we don't tune in our own frequency and decide what feeling we're going to emit, and we don't express our own unique signature vibration, we are going to get wrapped up in what's happening in the external world, and we're going to feel those energies, and we're going to carry that tension, we're going to carry that heaviness in our bodies, and you'll feel this as like restrictive, you'll feel like this as heaviness or tension headaches, or clenching your jaw, or clenching your feet, or just feeling very heavy, feeling very tired, having no energy. Like, we're really learning how to meet that part of ourselves with that softness, with that kindness, and as we meet that rigidity with more softness rather than hardness, and we're pushing and clashing and clashing and clashing, and you kind of like, you melt into it. So like whatever's not working in your life will be shaped around you, and it's like whatever you lose, you're meant to lose, and whatever's meant for you will always stay and will always find its way to you. So that's what I was saying. You can either like cling to the old and have it feel like disastrous, or you can let it go and express the emotions, feel the emotions, and that's what will shift your perspective. Then when you shift your perspective, you'll shift your own reality. Okay, so what's going on behind the scenes that we're not seeing clearly this week? Page of Pentacles. And this says to do. I always like that. And there's a feather in her hand. The Page of Pentacles always like, and I love this because the Hierophant asks us to step outside of our comfort zones, and that can be really uncomfortable. And just expressing our emotions, expressing more of who we truly are, can bring up so much fear that we have to learn to like get really comfortable with stepping outside of the box and doing new things. And that's kind of what I was picking up with the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is like a beginner's mindset. So sure, we're going to be if we've not used to like feeling our emotions, expressing them or sharing them, especially intimately or creatively, or expressing our sexuality, like this is going to make us feel really uncomfortable. So it's going to bring up a lot of vulnerability, but this is just saying to approach it from this beginner's mindset. And I was feeling that because I was picking up on the unicorns and like this innocence, and we because this is like a childlike energy, the pages are, so like stepping into this part of us that's like curious, and instead of being like scared of the unknown and scared of expressing ourselves, maybe see it from this place of like excitement and wonder, and that will ease the fears we're having of expressing ourselves. Yeah, I'm picking up a lot of energy in the throat chakra. So like I was just picking up on needing to approach these things from this place of like gentleness, or from this place of diligence. That's kind of like the Pentacles in my opinion. It's like patience, like being really patient with yourself as you begin something new. Like this is just saying that you're a beginner. So don't beat yourself up if you just feel like, okay, so like what happens when we shift our frequency, because we're always going to be shifting our frequency. It's an endless thing that we come here to do. As a soul, we're always going to be like broadening our perspective, and we're always going to be like expanding our consciousness. So we'll get to these new levels, and at every level we'll feel like a beginner. And like in those times, I know for myself, I can tend to beat myself up in those times, but it's just like, oh no, I'm just in a new level, and so I still have a lot to learn. And like being open to what you can learn, rather than being like, oh my gosh, this is never ending, because it is. It's totally a never ending process of expanding your consciousness. And it's like saying to approach these new levels from this place of like enchantment or like excitement, rather than like hysteria or like things are going to go awful. See it from this place of like, this is where I can birth something new. This is where I can plant new seeds. This is where I can get to know myself on a new level. Like, and that's what we're always doing when we're expanding our consciousness. We're just exploring our depths even more. And it's like when we can explore ourselves more and we can tap into those, like, the wisdom of our own soul, then that's when the Hierophant can come in, and like we can also be teachers for this, and we can lead other people to their own freedom, to their own liberation. Because that's what we're seeking to do. Because when we shift our frequency, like we expand our mind and we liberate our souls, and then our souls can have free expression, and we feel more in control of our bodies again. We don't feel like we're being controlled anymore, and we feel more in our power. That's what I'm picking up there, is that and to just like, yeah, to continue to put in like the self-care, continue to like put in the little steps in the physical world, because the pentacles are the physical world. But it's like you don't have to do giant leaps. Like, reinventing yourself doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the little moments every single day, in your little to-do list, like shifting the way you talk to yourself, or acting in a new way, or, you know. I'm also getting to write as a way to express yourself. Okay, what else are we not seeing clearly with the Page of Pentacles this week? Oh, that's so funny that this came out. I shuffled and everything, and commitment came out. That's so funny. So I'm just thinking, I am getting to like just commit to those little steps, commit to your self-expression, commit to, I'm also just like getting commit to like the physical world, to commit to your daily tasks. This could also be like your self-care routine, and like committing to keeping yourself balanced, committing to creating peace within your own self, like committing to doing those things that make you feel empowered, and that make you feel like strong, and that make you feel at peace. Let's get another one on the Page of Pentacles, actually. Okay, the Six of Cups. I like that. I love the dolphins there, so that could be a message for you, or dolphins could be. But the Six of Cups generally represents like relationships. This is like soulmate connections. It's like forgiveness and friendship, and yeah, it's generally a card of like like kindred spirits, or love. So I really love the Six of Cups. It's an energy of innocence and nostalgia. So commit to like this playfulness, because that's kind of the dolphins to me. They represent this like playfulness and this lightheartedness, and that's kind of the Page of Pentacles too. And approaching maybe like your mundane tasks from this place of like feeling very loving, or feeling very committed. And like when you commit to things, like, or when you really love something, like it's a delight to commit to those things, you know, like it feels good to commit to the things that make you feel loved, and that make you feel connected. Okay, so what is your advice for us this week? Like, our commitment could just our commitment could be being tested right now. Like, how committed are we to like the relationships in our lives? Like, and then like reevaluating, or making a list. Even the Page of Pentacles was kind of like making a list there. So, like, what's working out for you, and like what do you want to commit to? What is your advice for us this week, Spirit? Okay, we have the Eight of Wands. And I love this because there's a unicorn on the card, and we have the unicorns show up, so I love that. And this is about like alignment to me. It's just about like a surge of energy, like, and when you begin to express your soul in a new way, you begin to call in new frequencies, and those frequencies begin to support you, and you feel like rejuvenated, and you feel full of energy because you're connecting to a part of you that's endless, that's, you know, limitless. And that's what the unicorns teach us, is to connect to the part of us that's limitless. It's like really expressing our individuality, connecting to source, and allowing source to just like move through us. And when we do that, it creates rapid alignment in our lives, and that's what the Eight of Wands represents. It's like just rapid alignment, things coming together quickly, things moving really quickly. And maybe like things moving quickly kind of scares you, but this is like, I'm not getting a bad energy from it. I'm picking up on the orange, so I'm picking up on like sacral chakra and fire and desire and like passion, and that's the wands. That's like, yeah, it's like really like your passions are leading you in the right direction. You can trust your passions. You can like, and he's like lassoing the wands there. I really like that. Like gathering all your desires and like them just like moving. They're just aligning very quickly. So you can expect movement forward in any area of your life that's felt stuck or stagnant. Like you can trust that it will move forward. Maybe it has to do with relationships, because I've been picking that up with the Hierophant. That's about relationships, and so is the Six of Cups. So and the Six of Cups could be someone from the past returning to your life, or this is like, like just past lives I'm getting. So like just feeling like a deep connection to people in your life. Certain people, this could be like a, just like a soulmate, like I said. Somebody you've connected to maybe in the past, or maybe somebody you've never met, so take what resonates. But I love that. So things are continuing to move forward quickly, as long as you can stay, I think it's like committed to love, like committed to, and it's not about love and loving somebody else, it's that commitment to yourself. And I was saying that with the Page of Pentacles, it's like that self-care routine, committing to your self-care routine and your self-love, like commit to self-love and loving yourself unconditionally, because when you love yourself unconditionally, and that's the Six of Cups to me, you attract love that loves you unconditionally. So only when we start to show up for ourselves and we commit to ourselves and we commit to anchoring our frequency and shifting our frequency to align with what we want. If we want more happiness, then we have to shift our energy so that we feel more happy. If we want more love, we have to be more loving towards ourselves. And then we can give that love, and then that's what we attract. Okay, so, and then underneath the deck I love is the King of Wands. So more Wands energy. So this Wands are represented by Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. So that could be a message for you, or you could just have a lot of passion, or you could have a lot of fire in your chart. But yeah, I love the King of Wands. And I love that it's a walrus there. So you may need to like connect with water as a way to like soothe your passionate desire and all your like fire energy. So I really like that. And I think I did say that this is represented by Taurus, which we also have the Pentacles represented by earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I always forget Capricorn. And then the waters would be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. So let's get one more from here for the advice for this week with the Eight of Wands. I really love the Eight of Wands. I'm so happy that a unicorn showed up. I don't know, you can't see, but my dog is here again this week, and I just had somebody comment. She's a Shih Tzu, and she has a little like white patch on her head, and they commented and said, oh, she has a cute little unicorn like spot on her head. Like her cute little white unicorn horn. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute, because I always feel her like that kind of energy when I'm with her, is like the energy of like my unicorn. So it's just like she brings me this, like she was the first being, and I'm just, maybe you're connected deeply to animals, or maybe just pets in general, but she was the first being to show me unconditional love, and she really taught me that. And she's just been a very great spirit guide, and our pets are meant to like be here for us, and especially if you suffer from like any anxiety or like loneliness, sometimes a pet can really be helpful for your own like well-being, and they can be really comforting, and they're very loyal, of course. So anyway, that might just be a message there for you. She's very comforting to me. So what is your advice with the Eight of Wands here? Okay, Divinity, yes, and I love, these are the kind of the colors I was seeing in my third eye when I was typing my message on my blog post, where there's like dark blues and this purpley pink color. And that's funny because that's kind of what I was drawn to wear today. I was like this purple and pink color, and I was kind of seeing that, and you can even see it kind of on this card, like the unicorn has this like pinkish purple color on it. So I love the card of Divinity, which just, I'm actually going to read it. Oh, and then look what's underneath the deck. I love that, Union. So like this is like the merging of the masculine and the feminine energies within ourselves, like creating this inner union. Then we feel like this liberation within our relationships. Like we don't put so many like gender roles on things, or like you're the woman, so you have to clean the house and stay home with the kids, and I'm the man, so I do all the outside work. And it's like we can balance these things out, and we can allow more equal expression, more equal exchange in relationships, rather than just like these rigid old beliefs that are like, women do this and men do that, and this is what your family looks like, and blah blah blah. It's like, no, let your family dynamic express itself in its own genuine, unique way. Like we are not meant to look the same, and like you can even see it in our society. Like we build these houses that like look exactly like each other, and we build them right, and it's just like, when they're like this close to each other, it's just like bizarre to me. Like our home should even be like such a unique expression of who we are. And a lot of our homes, like we buy our, we go through these trends, and it's like, so your home looks, like think about just like the stores, how many home goods stores there are. Like I don't mean like home goods, the actual store, but I just mean like home department stores. And I'm kind of getting off subject here, but it's like, I just see homes as like your own unique expression of who you are. And a lot of people in our society, we just like put things in our home that don't necessarily add any value to our lives, but they're the trend. It's just like, why would you want to fill your home with things that just look good but don't mean anything? And that's kind of how a lot of us act, and that's like our superficial society. Like some of us look really good on the outside, but on the inside there's just, it's rotten, or it's not good, or it's like, and then people fall for that. They fall for the outside because they don't know any better, and they don't know themselves on the inside. And when you don't know yourself on the inside, you're going to fall for the outside just like that. So I think in my high school yearbook, my senior quote was, if you don't fall for something, or if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And I just think that's very important, because you'll just settle. And I think people are sick of settling. They really want to express, they really want to explore, they really want to expand. And that's the divinity. So yes, I said I was going to read that, and the book's just flying out of my hand. So let's see here. You are a beautiful, wise, and loving soul who has braved the perils and difficulty of incarnation to be here on earth and in service to humanity. You uplift the energy and consciousness of others through the work that you do, whether you are aware of it or not. There are billions of souls residing on the planet at this time, yet only a small number of them are here to help humanity evolve to its fullest potential. And that's what I was picking up on, was the fullest potential with the unicorn there. And you are one of those souls. Who you are is a gift to this world. Even at the best of times, it can be difficult to remember this, especially when being human feels so real. Your connection to spirit is much stronger than you think. You are a living, breathing channel of the divine. It moves through you in all that you do. It flows through the words that you speak, even when you don't intend it to. In every situation, you are a transmitter of the higher cosmic energies and wisdom. Exactly, we're all antennas emitting a certain frequency, which is what we have here. And we get to tune into what frequency we want to emit. We can emit the same frequency of our world and our environment, but if we're sick of our environment, if we're sick of our world, then we have to create a new one and create a new frequency within ourselves, and that's when it begins to emerge, and that's when it can birth. It flows through the words you speak, even when you don't intend it to. In every situation, you are a transmitter of high cosmic energies and wisdom. It is those who have the greatest gift who most often face the biggest challenges in life. Hold your head up and keep your faith. These challenges are the means to seeing and understanding the strength, wisdom, and compassion you hold within yourself. On a higher level, your soul chose to have a direct experience of the trials you have faced. Through each event, you have become better equipped and skilled so that you, in turn, could help others. That's totally the Hierophant. You are a very special soul with an important part to play in the healing and betterment of the people on this planet. You are born to be in service to humanity through divine gifts and knowledge you have carried with you into this lifetime. You are here to ignite the light in others to realize their own divinity. Beautiful, and that's pretty much the whole thing I was getting at. When you free yourself, you give everybody else permission around you to free themselves and to be more true to who they are as well. And what a beautiful gift that is, even if it happens in resistance and people don't like who you're becoming, if they don't like your divinity, if they don't, because like if we've spent our life around a lot of people that are dark and heavy, like they're not going to want to be around our light, like our light's going to trigger their darkness and their own insecurities and their own doubts and their own lack, and they're going to respond from those wounds, and they're not doing it to hurt you or to put you down, or it may seem and it may come across that way, but if you shift your perspective, you can see that your consciousness is just triggering unmet versions of themselves that they're not ready to accept, and that's why they're not accepting you. So it's just they can't accept themselves, because everybody is our mirror. So I'm going to pull one last card for the overall message from Journey of Love. I'm going to switch it up this week, and that's perfect because I was feeling relationships and love, so I think it was perfect and just divinely guided. Alright, Spirit. So, and this week I was kind of just picking up on this energy of like, don't rely too much on the outside world to bring you any certainty or to bring you any like sense of stability. Like, really commit to your spiritual path this week. Like, really get in tune to your spirit, get in touch to like whatever makes your body feel the most aligned, whatever makes it feel the most relaxed, whatever makes it feel the most in tune. Like, do that. Like, really commit to your spiritual your spiritual care this week. All right, Spirit. So what is the overall message for us for this week? Oh, no way. I love this. Number 33, and it's called God Speaks. This is so in alignment. This is so insane. Okay. I love all the colors too. The green and the blues. Beautiful. Okay, let's read this. I think I really like this one too. The divine is speaking to you directly. Underneath the silence, there is endless music of love, pulsating throughout the universe. Within that sacred sound, there is guidance. It may or may not have words. It might be a feeling in your heart that you can only access when you are still, relaxed, dancing, in a yoga practice, or even half asleep. It assures you that behind any struggle or challenge, there is only ever the divine seeking you out, calling you to surrender some fear or doubt or others so you can move closer. Trust in the sound of love beyond anything else, for in truth, no matter what may appear to be, there is nothing else. This oracle brings you guidance. You are being loved into becoming. Be open to being shown the divine genius in all that is happening. If you feel you are being nudged, know you are being nudged by the divine. If you feel you are being held back, know that you are being held back by the divine. All is happening perfectly for you and will unfold in divine timing. The divine is speaking to you when you are captivated by the beauty of nature or an illogical sense that everything is okay. Listen. That's divine talking to you, reassuring you that all is unfolding according to the spiritual law in perfect cooperation with your own destiny. I love that. Here's the poem. When the first sound was born, the air was filled with fantasy. Like the flower's sweet perfume, alive in the moment, there was nothing else. Only the energy coursing through my body and the tears on my cheeks. I was carried away on the strings, each note striking a chord within, and answering the emotions of my soul. How priceless the surprise, how powerful the memory to be with the violin when it sings. Oh, I love that. How beautiful. And that was perfectly aligned with the message that I had for this week, is really, getting closer to your spirit and allowing the divine to speak with you, to guide you, to lead you to your highest path, to help you to express yourself in your most godlike form, which is your highest self, your truest self. And I hope this was helpful for you. I hope it was healing for you. I do private readings, so if you're interested in any information about that, you can email me and I'll leave that information below. I'm sending you so much love and so much light, and I'll be back next time. Take care.